Hey, my name's Ryan. This is Basic Dad Builds. We take the stuff that's broken, we fix it, and we keep using it until we can't anymore. Today, I'm going to show you in this video how we fix an above ground vinyl pool the right way. But the So if you can see here, when it leaks out, so the leak was right here, and basically all of this is saturated and wet. The dogs like to come and roll in this. It smells terrible. We got mosquitoes, flies, all that other good stuff. So we're going to try and let this dry out. That's the big thing, and then we're going to fix that. All right, well, we found the leak, and it is nasty under here. I'd really like to dry it out, but we would have to move the entire pool, and I don't know if that's really possible. So we're just going to try and do what we can. But got to take some of this old tape off. I'm going to have to cut this off. Stand by. Hopefully, my mic works a little bit better because it is considerably windier today. I think that's a 10. So we're going to disconnect the hoses. We're going to take everything apart, see if we can't move. Nope, it's an 8. See if we can move this a little bit, and then we can try and dry it out. Alright, so this is where the hole is. You can see where I used some tape, and it held for about 3 days. But there's the hole. So it's probably 10 inches. I'm going to try and seal it from the outside and then from the inside also. I got to cut this old tape off, and then I'm going to try and move this pool out so that we can let this dry, and then I'm going to come back and we're either going to put a tarp down and put a border around it so that I can weed eat, or just try to figure something else out. But I think I'm going to do my due diligence this time and actually do it the right way when I repair this and put some pretty heavy weight on it. I've got some pretty big pipe in there, some clamps and stuff like that, and I think we can make it work. So the big thing about this is just trying to keep the water out of it and keep it dry. So I'm going to try and push some of the water out, maybe lift this up and put it either on a stand or like on a box. That way I can keep it out of the water, it can air dry, and then when I put the tape and the sealer back on there, hopefully it'll kind of bake in the sun. I don't want it to peel like this, but we're just going to try and do what we can. When you put this tape, so this is just the Gorilla Glue tape, and it really works well. The thing that I've noticed is that if you retape on top of old tape, it sticks so much better. So I'm going to try and leave some of this stuff on here so that this tape has something to grab onto. It's very similar to like when you paint something and you sand it. You're doing that so the paint has something to grab onto. Hopefully I can do this without making the hole bigger, but I really think that's what helped. So all the tape that was stacked on top of each other hadn't come off. It was really just around the seam where I didn't do a very good job the first time, and I didn't take my time putting it up the very first time I patched it. So just like anything, if you don't take your time doing it right the first time, you're going to get to do it again, which is what we're doing today. So all right, I got the hole exposed. I'm going to see if I can move this pool. I don't know if I can without bending any of the posts or the frame. We've tried it before. It's just a pain in the butt. So get that done. I'm going to make a little jig for this to set it up on. We'll get it dried out, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to. The other cool thing about this is that I found a bunch of caterpillars. I'm going to come over here, feed these chickens. We got a new rooster. I'm going to try and befriend him. Come here. Hey. Look. Come here. Someone want this? Someone want this? Who wants it? Hey, Mr. Rooster. Nope, he doesn't want it. Hi, girls. I know it's hot. In the comments what kind of chickens you have and some tips that you guys have for keeping them cool in the summer. We used to have a shade cloth that went all the way around this. The wind blows a lot. That's one of the reasons I got the mic. I used to cover this whole thing and it gave them good shade. Now we just kind of have the back quarter in the shade. And it does an okay job, but we recently had one of our hens die, and we're not really sure. She had some issues from when she was a chick, but we got to figure something else out. So shade cloth might be the best thing, but let me know. All right, so here's what I got so far. So basically what I did is I just took some scrap wood that we had that's going to be burned the next time we have a fire, and I lifted the pool up, and I'm trying to dry this whole area out because it smells like a horse barn. So I'm going to figure out some kind of jig. I think I've got a ton of scrap metal, and I think I'm just going to see what I have to fit underneath it so that we can lift it up off the ground and it can apply constant pressure from the bottom, and then we'll put something extremely heavy or a couple things that are extremely heavy on top of it and let that sit for probably the rest of today, and then we'll come back in the morning. Hopefully this is dried out. It's gonna be like 100 degrees today, and then we can do the bottom. I have some ideas of the border that I'm gonna do. It's gonna be quick and easy, so let me see what I got scrap metal wise, and we'll figure the inside of the pool out. This is where I keep my big stock. This is all drop cuts that I've gotten from buddies that build fence and metal buildings, all that good stuff. I don't have a good place to keep it yet, but for right now, it works. Some of it's been painted, some of it's primed, and most of it is just raw. So to really get it up off the ground, I need to find two pieces that are pretty close to the same size. Found them. Oh man, I stepped in dog crap. I'm back here in my little sweat box of the corner. So we've got this 4x4 posts, 4x4 square tubing, and then a 6-inch rectangular tubing. I'm going to set it on top of that like this. That way there's no hard edges touching the pool. We're going to lay the hole on top of this. We're going to let it dry out, and then I'm going to apply a bunch of tape to the hole, and we're going to sandwich the liner between this and another piece of pipe that I have, or I've got a car battery. I got a bunch of heavy stuff, so I think that's what we're going to do right now. All right, so this is what I got here. Hopefully you can see. All right, so I just put those 4x4s, we'll call them horizontally on the ground. That way I don't have rough edges sticking up. And then I laid that rectangular tube on top of it, and then the hole is right here. So it sits on top of this. That way when I get inside, I can move this over, and man, you cannot see anything. All right, let's get in the pool and I'll show you. Anyway, okay, so here's the hole. It's sitting on top of the rectangular tubing. Now I can let this dry out. I'm going to clean it off the best I can. I might get some like 1,000 grit sandpaper and just kind of sand all this stuff off once it dries. I'm going to come back with this tape because the tape works really well. I just didn't let it set up like it should have. So we'll put some tape down. We're going to put a bunch of tape down, and then I've got some really heavy stuff that I'm going to sit on top of this and let it sit for probably close to 24 hours. And then we'll come back. We'll do the underside, let that sit for 24 hours. And we'll let it cure for another 24 hours because I'll be on shift. And then we'll come back, we'll fill it up to about right here and see if it holds. All right. All of my chairs are taken because they are being used as paint stands. So went to Home Depot. I got a vinyl patch repair kit. I don't need the patch. I just need the vinyl cement. So this is the only vinyl cement that I could find. JB Weld, the Flex Seal liquid stuff, caulk, all of that won't work with vinyl. I need it to be flexible, but I also need it to hold. So what I'm going to do is I got two of these, and I'm going to take just the vinyl cement that's in here, and we're going to put it in the seam, and then we're going to sandwich it between something heavy and the little stand that I made yesterday. Then I'm going to put some tape over it, the Gorilla underwater tape. I'll show you that. It does work really well, but I'm going to let it sit or cure for at least 24 hours while I'm at work. We'll come back and see if it holds. Hopefully it does, and I think this is going to fix our problem. You can buy this off Amazon. I got my little helper out here now. You can get this off Amazon. This is the only stuff they had in store, so we're going to go with it, and we're just going to make it work. Yep. All right. Hopefully you can hear me. It's pretty windy today, which is great because it's not super hot. We've had a pretty good summer so far. Hasn't been terrible. But I got the summer fit on, cutoffs, some shorts, and my boots, my waterproof boots. All right, so we're gonna clean the seam really well. What I'm gonna do is I just got some soapy water. We're gonna clean the inside. That's really what I want. I want to get all the contaminants off with a non-abrasive brush. So I'm just using a sponge, dish sponge. That's the best thing that I read. We're gonna get this whole seam super, super, super clean. Anything that could hurt the adhesive or not let the adhesive sit or stick is what we want to clean off. So we'll get to cleaning and then we'll rinse it off. All right, cleaned it. Now we're gonna rinse all that soap off. It is still really hot, which is great because hopefully by the time that I get all my supplies set up, this will be dry enough. All right, so here's the tape. It's Gorilla waterproof tape, so it's only one-sided. So this gray side is what sticks to the pool, and this is on the outside. You can cut it to length. You peel back, a piece of plastic, and then you stick it. It is extremely sticky. It works great. This is the vinyl pool repair kit. We still have the original packaging for the pool, so I have a giant patch if I need to use it, but it's not technically a hole in the liner. It's just a seam came apart, so I'm not going to use this. And then here's the vinyl patch adhesive. So I got two of them. I'm going to take two of them, and I'm going to use it pretty liberally because I would rather overdo it than underdo it. So the plan is to put this in the seam, sandwich it, and then put some tape across it, sandwich it, and then we're going to let it sit for at least 24 hours. Found my scissors. They were on the floor where everything else belongs. As you can see, I did not put anything away last night, and it's really bugging me. But I got to find something heavy. So I have some rotors for my 1-ton. I've got a ton of pipe. I've got a ton of variations of pipe. I've got the short cutoffs that I showed you earlier. I have some batteries. I just kind of got to figure out what's going to work the best and not make me nervous sitting outside while I'm gone. So I'm going to look for that. Hold your seats. All right, this is also going to be a good test for the wind and my mic. So here's what I come up with. I've got these 3-inch by 3-inch square tubing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 on each. So I'm going to try and put them right on top of the seam. But I want as much surface tension on that, or surface tension. I want as most surface area that I can. These rotors obviously have a hole, and I want everything to have tension on it. So put one rotor on top of it, put the other rotor on top of it, and let it compress on the other piece of metal that's underneath. I think this is going to be plenty of weight, and it's not a battery. It's not going to explode. So I think this is the best option. Let's go put some vinyl cement and the tape on there. All right, so it's dry enough. Now it came with little applicator swabs. I don't think I'm going to use those. There's actually not as much of a ridge as I thought in this seam. So I think we're going to be good. I think my original plan is going to work with the 2 pieces of square tubing and the rotors on top. I think that's going to be perfect. So this final patch pull kit. Obviously it's sealed. Take the opposite end of the cap with the threads, punch it in, you break that seal, and then you can reuse it. Probably going to use this whole tube, and I'm going to be extremely liberal on applicating this. I don't care if some leaks out, because I want this to be glued as possible. So I'm going to run a bead up here also. I don't think I'm going to need that other tube, which is great. Hopefully it doesn't stick on the outside. All right. Now, realistically, you should hold pressure down on this, but I'm going to apply that tape and then put some good pressure on there while this sits. I think this has a cure time of 12 hours, like at a minimum. So it says allowed to dry overnight, so 12 hours. So it's going to be not super sticky. I might just put the rest of the tube in there when I get that tape cut and hope for the best. I think realistically, we should probably clean the area that you're going to tape this onto. But you know what? It is what it is, my friends. It is what it is. So I'm just going to get one side going here because it is very sticky. As you can see, I probably ruined this piece already, which is great. So that means I'm going to have to cut another piece. Mother lover. Might be saved. Might be able to cut this and save it. I'll have to peel back just a scotch. Just enough. Good. Now I'm going to do another piece right here, one up top and one down below. And then if I have enough, I'm not going to have enough. All right, so unfortunately all the video that I recorded had no audio. So this is the final setup. I ended up putting another piece of tape on the outside of the pool. I used the whole tube of vinyl cement and let this sit for 36 hours, which you'll see coming up. All right, so we're back after 36-ish hours. I already took that all out. It did fall down. I was laying in the middle of the pool, so I don't know how long it actually got to sit under compression. But the tape looks a lot better than it did, and I'm pretty sure the fiber cement set up. So we'll fill it up, we'll see if it leaks. And hopefully she doesn't. Find out. Throw some shock in there. See you in a couple hours. All right, so it's been like 2 weeks since we finished the pool. Let's go check it out. You want me to come outside? Come on. Come on. Come on. All right, so we've reached the part of the summer where the pool gets the most use. So I'll show you the outside first. So this is where we have the hole. And as you can see, it is dry as a bone. This is where all the water was draining. It is also dry as a bone, and then no new leaks, so that's great. So here's the inside of the pool, minus some residual stuff. This is vacuumed it, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. I probably need to vacuum it once more. There's just some heavy sediment that the filter won't pick up, and it accumulates about right here and then down in the deep end. But that's it. So if you have any questions, man, reach out to me. I'll be glad to answer them. I think this is going to work. I think next year we're going to upgrade to a bigger pool, so I'm not really going to do any more pool videos unless something catastrophic happens, which, knock on wood, I hope it doesn't. But man, this is what we do. We fix the stuff that's broken. We use it until it can't be repaired. So give it a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I got lots more content coming out and videos planned. It's going to be kind of slow the next couple of weeks just because we're in the hottest part of the summer here in Texas, and sometimes it's just unbearable to be outside working, and I don't want to do it. That's it for this one. I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. We're Basic Dad Builds, and we build a legacy out of hustle. Later.